Hello, hello, hello. So this is a little bit different from my channel. It's going to be kind of one of the first ones of the kind for this series. So this channel is typically a review channel. I'll review things from vape products, some cell phone products, some electronic products. But recently I've been taking a liking to a lot of different companies here in Palm Coast, Florida, and well, throughout all of northern Florida, just because there's a lot of work and renovations that I do to the home. Even though the house is kind of brand new, it was built in 2007, there's a lot of things that needed to get done. There's a lot that has been done already, and I kind of wish that I would have done this off the jump, but kind of late in the game. So a recent review that I want to do is on a company called Dr. Paint out of Palm Coast. Now, long story short, I figured instead of actually doing a Google review and filling out a form and saying what my experiences were, I figured why not do a video with some presentations of what the final product is and then what they ended up doing. So the way that I heard about Dr. Paint was from another paint company that was talking to their employees that was working here. They had painted the walls black. They did an absolutely terrible job, right? You would see the streaks everywhere. And when you're doing black as walls or even a ceiling, it's very, very difficult just because, well, it's black and it's going to show imperfections. And it's really going to either shine or make you look like shit when it comes to the final product. Because, well, if you don't do the lines correctly or you don't know how to roll or you're doing shitty paint, it's just going to look bad, right? And it's going to look worse than as if it was beige or tan or whatever other color that they're going to use in Florida or anywhere else you're going to do it. And I know what you're going to say is, why would you paint your house black? Well, because it's what I like, right? Black and white, tuxedo. So going back into Dr. Paint, that's how I heard about them. And I was like, ooh, they're going to be really good. So they ended up picking up Benjamin Moore matte black Aura line, which is top of the line for Benjamin Moore. It's not the top of the line paint. There are some higher end paints, but that was going to give me what I needed. And it takes a while to cure. And the specific room that they were working on, as you see in the pictures here, this is what it looked like before. And then, well, this is what it looks like after. So looking at those two pictures side by side, you'll see that they are very different rooms. The problem is it was beige and white before. The white, the crown molding, the beige, the wall, or brown, whatever color you see that as. But when you go with black as a base to do crown molding in white, you expect something like this. This is above the pool table. Now, when you see the pool table, it looks fantastic with the black and the white. But when you look at this, their tape job was terrible. Dr. Paint, the owner of the company, Omar, is a fantastic person. So fantastic that at the end of it, it was supposed to be done in 3 days. It ended up taking 5 days. But even then, it's still not finished. The crown molding is all messed up on the top, the molding on the side, the chair rail is messed up. And whether they use masking tape, frog tape, I think they started with masking tape, but they put masking tape as a base and then used the frog tape, the blue painter's tape. It might not have been frog tape specifically. I think that only comes in green and black. But either way, that they would let that sit overnight. And well, the paint started to dry. And this way, now I'm sure if I go down there and take a video, I'll just go ahead and put that over my voice now. You'll see that a lot of lines were messed up. And that's because they let it cure. Or it wasn't fully cured. It just dried a little bit. And when they pulled it off, well, some of the tape got stuck, and they would use a razor blade against the black wall, against the molding to try to get the tape off, but the problem is you can still see tape underneath the black. So Omar had said, I know you're not happy with it. I'm just going to go ahead and chalk up the rest of the bill. Now, the whole bill, I think, was like $4,000, and I had given a down deposit of $1,700, which you don't know how I feel about this. I'm not keen on paying people for a service if they haven't started the job. I just don't agree with it. I agree with once the day you start, because there's companies that get screwed out by people that just never pay the people that work. Well, I'm going to pay you, and I understand I'm no different than anybody else, but I paid the down payment. They did all the work, and when it came to them leaving on the 5th day, one of the workers had said that Omar had said to chalk it up. Now, that affects me a little bit because I feel emotional about that. He's not going to get any money from me because he's willing to chalk that up, but the job's not done. You know, they did great. Dr. Paint is a fantastic company to paint your wall. When it comes to taping, instead of doing Like if I was to tape off molding or anything, the kick plate, anything, I would literally do one stretch as long as I could from seam to seam, one piece. But what would happen is for a piece that was 6 feet, not even 5.5 feet, they would cut the tape like they go halfway and then they meet the tape back up. Guess what happens? That line's not going to be straight. It goes straight, then it goes up and comes over. It looks terrible. Look at the picture. This isn't just one spot. This is multiple spots. And Omar said, listen, Jay, whatever, it is what it is. You want us to finish it? Well, we'll try to come back and do it again. I was going to have them paint the whole house. The problem I have now is if they repaint the rest of the house, although it's black already, but there's lines everywhere from the previous shit bags, I'm more nervous that where the kickboard is, or whatever you want to call it, the molding on the bottom, that line is not going to be straight and it's going to bleed through. And it's not even a matter of it just being straight. It also would bleed through. And when you're dealing with black, especially black on white, anything is going to show. Whether it's a splatter of paint that's 5 feet away, it's going to show on that white or that black, right? You have two polar opposite colors. And if I had to rate this company on a 5-star, based off of their work, I'd give them a 3. If you have something that is molding that needs to be painted by them, if you're in the Palm Coast area looking for them, I would just make it a point. Maybe it's my ex-military mindset of where they dig you up for having your awards too high or your belt loop not in line with your actual, your buttons. Maybe that's what it is. It's just I'm very meticulous in seeing, and it's like I told them not to spray black, and then sure enough, they wanted to spray the ceiling. And then, of course, I mentioned that back to Omar. He was like, oh, you're right, I remember. But I told him to spray it anyway because it would have taken them forever to actually roller it. Their work painting a wall is fantastic. If you're going to do contrasting colors like that, I would tread carefully. It's a very good owner. It's a very good company. Great standard operating procedures. The person that taped it off just absolutely sucked. Was absolutely fucking terrible. You take that however you want to take that. Thank you for watching. More reviews of companies soon. They're going to hate me, like all the other companies I've done reviews on before. Thank you for watching.